Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Josh and Artemis Show.
Welcome back, guys. Nice to see you all again. So, today's show, we're going to bring you all the reaction, the fallout from Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson. They've both responded to the absurd bullshit we discussed yesterday, the cancellations of both of these people. It's backfired, of course. We knew it would, but we're going to bring you all the reaction today. So it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I mean, we did call it. So, yeah, we're going to get into it. But before we do, of course, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe to our show. If you're watching on X or YouTube, it does really help support the show. Share it out. Leave a comment with your thoughts and opinions, of course. We always read them and respond, even if you don't agree with what we say. Means a lot to us.
Absolutely. So we'll share our screen, guys. I know it's election night in the US as well, so it's probably going to be a quieter show, but thanks very much for joining us. So I guess we'll just go through all of these clips. So as you can see, our bar at the top of the screen there, it's pretty much full to the brim with clips. So there's no particular order. We'll just go through them. They're all from Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes as well. So we'll basically just play them, and then we'll have a chat about them. We haven't actually seen all the clips as well, because like you guys know, we like to watch these clips live review, react to them live, give you our raw opinions. So yeah, it's going to be the same process as usual.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll bring you this one first. So Nick Fuentes challenges Ben Shapiro to a debate. Let's play it.
Groy Bourbon 007 sent $50. Hey Ben, keep Nick Fuentes' name out your mouth. You're irrelevant now. Love you, Nick. Less than 3.
Well, and he should debate me. If he feels so strongly, then debate me. He won't. He knows he won't. You know he won't. I know he won't. Come and debate me then. I have 55,000 live viewers. How many live viewers do you get? He knows that if he debates me, it'll be the most watched debate in politics in 10 years. It'll be bigger than the Trump-Biden debate. It'll be the most watched debate since Trump debated Hillary Clinton. He knows he will lose. He knows that everyone will rally to my side, and he knows that Israel first is over. That's why he'll never do it. But the offer stands. You want to play my clips, call me out. You want to hide. I'm right here. I'm right here. I will debate you anytime, anywhere. Bring it on. You won't. You're a bitch. You would lose. You know that. Keep talking. Until then, keep talking.
Yeah. I mean, he's right. I mean, like Ben Shapiro would ever agree to that debate.
No, because it wouldn't go very well.
No.
At least for him. It would go fine for Nick, but it wouldn't go well for Benny Boy.
Yeah, because, I mean, what arguments would Ben Shapiro have at this point?
I don't know. But, yeah, it wouldn't be anything strong enough to,
do you know what I'm saying, though?
To carry on a debate.
Because I was thinking about this when I saw that quote. I was thinking, how would this happen? And does Ben Shapiro genuinely have a chance at winning this debate? I don't think he does.
No.
I genuinely
I don't think he does either.
Yeah.
I don't think he would. Like, not a chance.
No.
It's just straightforward. I just don't think so.
But of course, I would love to see it. I think everyone would love to see that debate.
Yeah.
Let's hope it happens. But like Nick said, I don't think it will happen. But, you know, we'll bring you some more clips as well. There's a clip from Tucker Carlson. He's talking about a similar thing. And it's, you know, because he got pushback from a load of people like we brought you yesterday. Why did you platform Nick Fuentes? Why didn't you push back on this point you made? Why didn't you push back on that point you made? And Tucker Carlson just came back and said, well, will you interview him then?
Yeah.
You know,
which is fair enough. If
you weren't happy with the interview, why don't you interview him? You know, there's a guy, Seth Dillon, who, you know, we all know he's is he like the editor of
Babylon Bee?
Yeah. And he was on Piers Morgan's show a few days ago with Dave Smith. And
which didn't go very well.
Which didn't go very well for Seth. And Dave Smith made a similar point as to what Tucker Carlson said. He said, look, you know, you're saying that Tucker Carlson should be doing this, Tucker Carlson should be doing that. Why don't you debate him then? You know, and did Seth Dillon say that he would? No, of course he wouldn't.
No.
Because he would get fucking destroyed by Nick Fuentes in any debate.
It's true.
100%. It's not even a debate.
That's not even a debate.
Not even a debate. It's really not. Like I've seen them both talk on camera. And Nick Fuentes would easily beat Seth Dillon.
Yeah.
In a debate.
For sure.
Easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, let's move on to the next clip, I guess. So we'll just go through these. Okay, so this is Tucker Carlson. He was on Dave Smith's show yesterday. So we actually talked about this briefly when we were live. So I think the episode dropped once we finished the show, as it always does. All of its news always seems to break when we finish the fucking show.
I know.
But yeah, so we've started watching the full episode, but there are some clips which have been going around. So we'll play you some of these. So this is Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith on the openly pro-violence positions of Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, and Seth Dillon, who we've just talked about. So let's bring you this.
People like Ben Shapiro and Josh Hammer and Ted Cruz, you know, all these people, like they think in terms of groups. And that's what Levin said to me. It's like, my group, people are hurting my group. And it's like, if your group means your family, you know, people you love, I get it. But if you're thinking purely in terms of your ethnic group, which is what he is saying, then you inevitably become very hateful toward other ethnic groups, actually. And in Ben's line about Ron Paul, who's like totally committed to nonviolence, by the way, you see that hatred. And so it does, I don't like it. I'll just get right to it. I'm not afraid personally. I mean, I'm not going to talk. I mean, I didn't grow up like in the world that, you know, Seth Dillon grew up in, where you were encouraged, like, talk about yourself all the time. Like, narcissism was a true sin that I never talk about. I try not to talk about myself in general, but I mean, I know a lot about, you know, people trying to hurt me, been there in a real way, and which I've never talked about, not going to talk about now, but I'll just say I like know what that is. And I know that, you know, people like Seth Dillon or Ben Shapiro, you know, they get a lot out of wearing bulletproof vests and like, oh, I'm so under attack and all this stuff. And it's like, the truth is they are openly pro-violence. So how in the world could you justify killing tens of thousands of children or justify a pager attack, which is an act of terrorism where you indiscriminately blowing people's genitals off? You don't know who's holding the pager and you're celebrating it. What are you celebrating? You're celebrating violence. And they celebrate violence day after day. That's where their foreign policy comes from. That's what their worldview is. Strangling the neck of a Jew, who even thinks that way? Someone who's thinking very often in violent terms, and so and hateful terms. That's hate. And so people like that, when aroused to hysteria, and I feel sorry for them, and I just want to say that again. Lindsey Graham, another violence worshiper, like the idea that they're promoting violence. Well, they've been promoting violence for decades. Because this whole project is about violence. It's about the thrill that they feel killing their enemies, the godlike power they imagine they have when they extinguish human life. That's the whole game for them. And we shouldn't oh, you're not promoting violence? Oh, you're definitely promoting violence. And that's why I oppose you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and he brought up an interesting point about the pager there as well, which I completely forgot about when Bibi, he gifted Trump a gold pager.
I wouldn't have accepted it. Like, thanks for the gesture, but you keep it.
But that was wild.
It is wild. I don't know where he put it, but
let's see if we can find that. Actually, he'd bring up a new tab on, and just see if you can type it in, just to show people if they haven't actually seen this. Just type in gold pager Trump. I guess it would come up. That's not the pager though, is it?
I'm like, that doesn't look golden. Oh, it says gold, but a polo. Anyway,
that's your brother.
It's my brother. Brother from another mother.
Scroll down a bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe there isn't actually a picture. Oh, there it is. That's it. That's insane.
I know.
Completely insane.
Yeah, there it is.
But why would he gift that to Donald Trump?
I know.
Right? What's it got to do with Trump?
And knowing what it could do.
And knowing what it stands for.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that to you guys in case you haven't seen that before, because it reminds me of the George Floyd gold fucking coffin casket, which happened. Or was that it? That must be it, yeah. To President Donald J. Trump.
Hold on.
Can you zoom in a bit?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I can still read it. To President Donald J. Trump, our greatest friend and greatest ally, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Wild.
Press with both hands. Let's not see what it does.
But anyway, yeah, these are the psychopaths which Tucker Carlson's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People who are openly glorifying violence against other people, which is what he's talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, what's like your thoughts on what he said, Tucker Carlson?
Well, it's just in a time of a lot of political violence, like why are we so casual about it? That's what I don't understand. You know, like I don't think it's the time to call for even more violence. I think people need to wake up and see that violence isn't even the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said yesterday, it's just very reckless. And to me, it's like it's just very petty. Like this is like school fights with people, but on a whole other level. But this is like the pettiness between people. So I just don't understand it, to be honest. Like I don't know why people just call for violence so recklessly. There's infighting between people. We're being, divided between the left and the right, and whatever that means. And even on like a different topic of the the voting, what's happening with like Mamdani in New York, that tweet from Trump saying, if anybody's voting, especially Jews, for Mamdani, you're stupid. It's just like it's also just wild. Like the president would be like posting this kind of thing. Like I don't know. It's just more division in any shape or form. I don't get it. I mean, I do get it why, but I wish everybody could see through it and realize it, snap out of it, and be like, actually, no, we need to start finding more common ground and start, thinking collectively as people.
I think a lot of people do. I mean, we talked about it briefly yesterday, but it does feel like there's a little bit of an awakening happening now on both sides. Not everyone on both sides, but there's obviously a large group of people now on either side, in quotation marks, who have kind of woken up, like we have in some ways too. I mean, we talk about this frequently on the show, but we're completely done with this left-right BS bullshit stuff, which is just fake. Mm-hmm. It's all fake. It's all designed to divide everybody. It's all designed to keep each other, fighting amongst ourselves while the people in power get to do whatever the fuck they want. And, this is, it's a story as old as time. Mm-hmm. Divide and conquer. It's the classic playbook, which has been used throughout history in every civilization. Divide and conquer. And it's the same stuff with this left-right divide. And we keep falling for it as people. We keep falling for this over and over again. Mm-hmm. But I think it's time for people to wake up, to what's really, going on here. Yeah. There's the haves and the have-nots. And unfortunately, 99% of us are in the have-nots pile. Yeah. While the 1%, the haves, can pretty much do what they want.
It's like that George Carlin quote.
It's one big club and you're not in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same.
And you ain't
same
in
kind
it.
of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not in it.
No.
It's like, you know, they can say that they're for the people, but it's not a club that we're part of as just an average person living in whatever country. We're not part of the club.
Absolutely not. And I don't want to be part of the club as well. That's
No,
I don't want to be part of that club.
But even if you did, you're not going to be part of it. Like, it's not part of the plan.
I think you missed one actually. If you go,
no, this is the thing.
the
But
page,
I kept it up because I'll link it as well,
Okay.
just in case people want to take a look.
Okay, so Nick Fuentes reacts to insane smear campaign that the Zionists are waging against him and Tucker Carlson. Let's play it.
And that's what they're afraid of. They're afraid that the podcasts and the influencers and the things that we say on our show or suggest on our platforms, they're starting to show up inside the Republican Party and in college and in government. And soon that means policy. They're deeply afraid of this. And by they, I mean the pro-Israel lobby. And so this is what they could not accept. And what we have seen since then, over the past weekend, is the most coordinated, organized, unbelievable smear campaign that I've seen in a very long time. And to be honest with you, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the campaign to discredit and destroy Donald Trump in 2015 and 2016. And the reason I say that is because last year during the election, it seemed as though the media and the institutions had almost given up on cancel culture, wokeness, censorship. Did you get this impression also? You could be forgiven for thinking around the time of the election last year that all that stuff was over. It was all ancient history. And
that's literally what we said yesterday. We thought all this was all this shit was done with. And then the last few days with Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, it's like it's ramped up again.
Yeah.
Why? But anyway, let's finish this. But yeah, I just wanted to say that because we've noticed it as well.
Yeah.
How, cancel culture we thought was done with. Clearly not.
Yeah. It's ramping up and becoming more popular to do on the right as well, which infamously it was known as like, that's like a lefty thing to do. That's a woke thing to do. The right don't cancel people. Well, clearly they do.
Clearly they do.
It seemed that anti-woke comedy and free speech and all these things that we remember before the woke progressive era were back and we're here to stay. Shane Gillis is on SNL making edgy jokes. On his appearance on his Netflix show, Donald Trump became the president and was inaugurated without a hitch. It seemed that Silicon Valley had acquiesced to his return to the White House. And it seemed like everything was back to normal. We're all good. And all that crazy, woke, lunatic stuff was a thing of the past. And this past weekend, the last 3 or 4 days, maybe the entire last week, it felt like all of that 2015, 2016 era cancel culture came crashing back down all of a sudden. This was like the basket of deplorables moment for the pro-Israel lobby. And remember what Hillary Clinton said in that remark? She said, racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, this basket of deplorables that is his supporters. It's like that level of rhetoric all over again. We're seeing the clip compilations. Remember when Nick Fuentes said this? Remember when he said that? They're doing it to Tucker. They're doing it to Candace. It feels exactly the same. And it ends just as it began with the exact same playbook, the same tactics. And so tonight I want to talk all about it. I want to get into all of the backlash. And the reason I put that in scare quotes is because, of course, it's all fake.
Yeah, it is all fake.
It is.
I mean, what's your thoughts? We kind of touched on it briefly about cancel culture, but do you have any more thoughts about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I sort of, I kind of already said it. Like, infamously, that was something that everybody would say is only like what the wokey lefties do, and that, people on the right believe in freedom of speech and, to say what you want and, not to get canceled. But I mean, it feels like since Charlie's death, more people are getting called out, saying where people work, like doxing people, calling for them to be canceled, or as Josh Hammer would say, neutralized. And what did we say yesterday on the show? That, Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. I mean, first of all, no, he's not. But second of all, you don't just say that. That's not just banter. Like, that's not just like you joking around with your friends. Like, he's like, that's being said at a summit and openly on like social medias, trying to get people canceled, trying to get Tucker canceled, Nick Fuentes, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all the same thing. Candace Owens, of course, because of her investigation into Charlie Kirk's murder.
Not just canceled, though. It's
just completely.
It's inciting violence against.
It's inciting violence. People. It's calling to be silenced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, in whatever way possible. And, I just don't agree with it, and I just think like it's a bit hypocritical as well for like people on the right to be doing that. It's like, wait a minute, I thought that you were all for free speech and that people can say what they want, even if you don't agree with them and blah, blah, blah. You're not part of the cancel culture. And here you are. Like they were, cheering on that, what's his face? The late night show guy, Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
They were celebrating that he was going to be canceled until he came back. But again, why would we celebrate somebody getting canceled just because you don't agree with what they said? And like it's just, this is stuff that they used to think was wrong, that we need to fight for these things, and now they just openly do it, especially if you're not pro-Israel or pro this, pro that. Like as soon as you say something that they don't like, they're very quick to jump and like push that cancellation button, which it's just interesting to see how much that's changing.
Yeah, and like we've always said, it's interesting when you think about what's allowed to be talked about and what isn't allowed to be talked about, what's allowed to be protested, what isn't allowed to be protested. And it's pretty crystal clear now what you're not allowed to talk about under any circumstances. There's certain things now which are just a complete no to talk about with the right now.
Yeah. Otherwise, even if you don't get canceled, your channel will get shadow banned. You're like, ever since those updates with the X algorithm, a lot of people are complaining that their posts don't even get seen. And, not just small pages, but people with like hundreds of thousands of followers, how are they getting 10 likes when they have let's say 200,000 followers?
Like even
doesn't
us, I mean, we've noticed a massive drop off of our posts, and we're not as big as these guys, of course not. But
a few weeks ago we had like 200 live viewers.
A few weeks ago we had like 200 live. Now we've got like 23. So it's like,
it's fine. We'll do our show even if there's 0, because we don't care. But obviously you can just tell, like, oh, we're talking about this, now we're just gonna get like pushed down.
Yeah.
So it's
obvious.
But people are noticing it from top to bottom. So that's just another form of being silenced and canceled.
Well, what did Linda Yaccarino say?
Freedom of speech, not freedom of reach.
That's it. And it's clear as day, but that's still the policy at X.
For sure.
Yeah, of course you can say what you want, but you won't be seen. You won't be heard.
You won't get noticed.
You'll just be put into a little dark fucking corner in the fucking internet where you can say what you want, but no one's going to see it. That's effectively what's going on now with X.
Yeah. Which to me is just, well, it's annoying, but it's just wrong as well. Like, because X, like everybody came to X as a way to actually express their own thoughts and opinions with free speech, and not like how it was on Instagram, where if if you even mention COVID, your post gets flagged and taken down, all this stuff. Like, but now with X, it's like, okay, we'll work around it so people don't really notice. But obviously people notice. They've been posting screenshots of like their engagement and all this stuff, like just going like way down. And so it's just like a workaround, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. I mean, I don't give a fuck about the numbers, really.
No, I'm not saying it's all about the numbers. It's just more what that represents. So it's more like, yeah, you can still send or write a tweet or a reply or whatever, but it's just not going to get seen just because of what you're saying. So that's not really free speech, is it? It's not just letting the algorithm do its thing or whatever. Now they're controlling it. So that way certain topics don't get seen and others are propped way up. That's more my point. And I'm saying that a lot of people do notice it, and notice a change in even just how their like timeline is showing up when they're scrolling. Like,
for sure.
So that's more the point.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll do a show if there's no one watching. It's fine.
No, yeah. I mean, we've done it before in the past when there's been no one.
Yeah, when we were first starting out, you got to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, so they know the next generation is with us. Nick Fuentes is mainstream now. You're all going to have to deal with that. I mean, he's not wrong. Let's play the clip.
But they know the next generation is with us, and they're writing about it in the New York Times. They said anywhere between 30 and 40% of the White House staffers and congressional staffers are groypers. That's an underestimate. That's an undercount. It all means nothing if we don't get our people in office, if we don't get our people in government. And that's why I tell groypers.
Actually, I just want to clarify what a groyper is because I had to Google it. So just in case anybody's watching and was like, what is a groyper? That is somebody who follows Nick Fuentes. So just a little FYI for everybody because I didn't know what that meant.
Do you know what, though? I think at this point, everybody's tuning into him. Yeah. Everybody's, you know, he's the fucking biggest name in this space at the moment. He's the big.
Even if you don't like what he's saying, you're tuning in.
He's up there with Rogan.
You're tuning in.
That's not even like, you know, that's literally true at the minute. He's up there with fucking Rogan at the minute.
Yeah.
In terms of his reach and his influence, and you know, you can question that, you can not agree with it, but the facts are there. That he literally is right up there with Rogan's, the Carlsons at the moment. He's fucking right up there.
Yeah.
He really is.
For sure.
Don't let them put your name on a list. Hide, conceal your views like they did. Like they did. Don't let Levin put you on a list. Your job is to get into the Ivy Leagues. Your job is to get into these offices, do what you need to do, say what you need to say, hold it close to the chest. But we bleed for America. That's why I like to raise the right hand. You don't have to broadcast it to everybody, and you can say what you need to say. But when we're in private, it's America first. It's Christ is King. And you're not going to know how many of us there are, and you're not going to know which one of us we are. And you're not going to get a good count, and you're not going to know all our names. And slowly but surely, you will be encircled, and you will be surrounded, and one day you're going to wake up in the Groyper Party. GOP is going to stand for a different thing.
Yeah.
That's why I tell people, get involved. And in the elections, get involved. Don't necessarily show yourself, but in 2028, we'll be there, and you're going to need to vote your conscience. You need to vote on this issue. American sovereignty. We're not going to vote for more Israel first subjugation. We won't do it. If you vote for that, you deserve what you get. I don't care if we lose the fucking election. I don't care if we throw the election. If we lose the election, it's the Republicans' fault. We're asking for one thing. And they're worried because they know they've lost the 18 to 40 demographic. It's like all Zoomers, all millennials, and half of Gen X are saying enough is enough. And you can't win without us. Delusional. They say this is a small radical fringe. It isn't. This is mainstream now. Nick Fuentes is mainstream now. You're going to have to deal with that. Dread it. Run from it. Where did that lead you? Where will it lead you? You're going to need us in the next election, so you better figure out how you're going to negotiate the end of your rule in America, or it's going to come tumbling down one way or another. I don't care if the GOP loses. We have to be willing to let Vance or Rubio, whoever it is, we have to be willing to let them lose in the primary, in the general, whatever it takes. Has to be America first. Have to play hardball.
Yeah.
Could Nick Fuentes be the president of the United States one day?
Stranger things could happen. So, yeah, you never know.
One
if
day.
he wanted it.
I'm not saying in 2028.
No.
But I'm saying
wouldn't get it in
maybe in
2028.
2038.
Yeah.
In
he needs
like 12 years.
A little bit more age under his belt for one, but stranger things have happened, so you never know. If he wanted to run, maybe he would. I think that a lot of people are starting to see that being America first is important. Like putting your own country first shouldn't be a controversial thing. You should want your own country to thrive and to be able to live without struggling. Like, I think that's like a basic need that everyone deserves. So I don't see why not, really. Like I said, stranger things could happen. So
it would be really interesting because I think he would get a lot of support. This is the thing. What he's saying, he's saying like 30 or 40% of people in the White House, I think he mentioned, are Groypers, aka Nick Fuentes fans. Probably more.
Probably
more.
Like
he said, there's probably more than that. Like we said on the show yesterday, we don't agree with everything that Nick Fuentes has said in the past. Of course not. But
no.
But when you watch his clips, he's one of the most engaging people that I've seen in years. 100%. Like you can't deny the talent that the kid has. I mean, he is a kid. He's in his 20s, and you can't deny that. So
it's true.
He's got the fan base. He's got the public speaking ability. He's a smart guy.
He's got
all the talking points. He
reads a lot. He does his research, so he's well informed. Even though he's like, I think 27. So, he's been talking about this openly, publicly, getting banned and canceled since he was 17. So he's been doing it for like 10 years already. There's not a lot of 17-year-olds when I was in school that would be doing what he's doing. I don't know if there was really any. So he definitely has something unique there. I don't know about kids today because I'm old now. So, but I'm sure that there must be some, but probably, again, just it's like a unicorn. Like it's very rare.
Yeah, I mean, these people don't come around often. People with obvious kind of talent, and that's, I'm separating some of the points he's made as to the obvious talent that he has. Like it's clear as day. And that's why he's massive at the moment. That's why he's a massive name. That's why he's getting in all these shows now. Tucker's, he's going on his show, Dave Smith. I
think we do have a graph.
I think it's on the last tab. Yeah. Let's bring this up, actually.
Well, it's kind of relevant just to what we were saying.
Yeah.
So
this is on Rumble in Q3. So Nick was the second most watched streamer on Rumble during Q3 2025 with over 5 million hours of watch time.
The only one who beat him is Alex Jones.
Which isn't a surprise. He's a big show as well.
Huge, but not far behind.
But I think it's funny, though, because if you look at the end, who's at the end?
The Charlie Kirk Show.
The Charlie Kirk Show.
Well, who's running it now?
TPUSA, but he's right. So 2.56. He's got more than double the views what Charlie Kirk, the Charlie Kirk Show, aka TPUSA. He's got more than double the views, which tells you all you need to know about the direction of the conversation, the direction of the story, and where the influence really is. It's not with TPUSA. It's not with Charlie Kirk anymore.
Yeah,
it's with Fuentes and it's with Fuentes, and you can't deny that.
And Alex Jones too.
And Alex Jones, he has a lot of power.
I mean, of course. He's been calling things out for decades. So
even Tim Pool's podcast, he's got, it's got more, 1.5 million viewers more than him.
Yeah,
it's pretty insane.
Yeah,
it's pretty insane.
Interesting stat.
It's interesting.
We
Done
just
that.
watched. Yeah.
Okay, so Tucker Carlson responds to those criticizing how he interviewed Nick Fuentes. Okay, let's play it. We talked about this briefly before, actually, but let's play it.
Yeah.
One of the criticisms is that I went in and spoke to Ted Cruz, and I was so tough on Ted Cruz, but I was so nice to Fuentes. And it's like, I'm just trying to think about the Ted Cruz interviews. I was actually very polite to Cruz. And I just wanted him to explain what he thought. And like, what is AIPAC and why is it okay to take all this money from them? And they're not a foreign lobby. And he immediately, and I mean immediately, called me an anti-Semite. And I really wasn't expecting. I've known Ted since long before he was a senator. I have very mixed feelings about him and his life, but I never thought he would call me an anti-Semite because I asked him about campaign contributions, but he did immediately. And he did because he didn't want to have that conversation rather than just saying, they're being for the Israeli government. Maybe they should be registered. I would still accept their money if they're registered. Like, who cares? He wouldn't say that. He was like, shut up. He tried to end the conversation through a verbal attack. And Fuentes, whatever you think of him, hey, Fuentes, what do you think? He would just tell you. Now, people are choosing not to believe what he said. And it wasn't a perfect interview. I've never conducted a perfect interview. I felt pretty good about it, to be honest. But all these people are like, oh, you should have this shit on that. Well, interview him yourself.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
It's easy to criticize.
Yeah.
Interviewing people. We've had guests on the show. Like, there's a lot going on when you have guests on the show as well. And like, you have such a big platform and you have all these different questions and things you want to say. And then the conversation sometimes leads somewhere else. And then, you don't get to go back to that point because it kind of becomes irrelevant, but maybe you had something to add or you would have kind of pushed on something else harder. But like, it's not as easy as we might make it look. It does. I'm sure we don't, but you know what I mean? It's actually a lot harder to just go and do a show.
I think it's harder to do an interview than it is to do what we're doing now, where we're just we don't have any scripts here. We literally just go live, and whatever comes out our mouths comes out our mouths.
Yeah,
that's easier to do than doing an interview like Tucker Carlson does, like all of these bigger people do.
Yeah,
because like you've said, you've kind of got a rough idea of what you want to say, but the conversation never goes the way you want it to go. It's but that's where a skilled interviewer kind of comes into play, because they're able to guide the conversation how they want to in some ways. But I think what's great about a lot of these bigger people like Joe Rogan, for example, he's a great example of this. He doesn't really have a script when he does an interview. He kind of lets things go
they just have a conversation. The only thing I'll say with Joe Rogan, which like we love watching Joe Rogan, but sometimes he doesn't push at all with certain shows.
When he had Kash Patel on the show.
Yeah, that's a good example. Or like if he talks about UFOs or something like that, like no pushback. And some of his guests say like the craziest, like out there stuff that they say they have all this proof, let's see it. Like it, but again, I love Joe Rogan's podcast. Like we listen to him all the time, but he doesn't really push back. Does he get hate for it? Probably, but he's so big that like, does he even care?
He doesn't care.
No. He's always said, he's like, I'll have whatever guests on that I want. I don't get told who to speak to. He chooses guests based on what he's interested in, what he wants to hear, and who he wants to speak to. So, he's in a position like that. But again, it's like exactly what Tucker said. You interview him yourself. Like you do it yourself then.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not that easy.
Yeah, it's completely correct, because if all of these people, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin, Seth Dillon, all the people have seen the last few days who are calling Tucker Carlson out for platforming someone or talking to someone, why don't you get him on your show or do it on a neutral show and have a debate about it? Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot, you pussies, you can't do it. Simple.
Well, yeah.
It
says a lot about your character.
It's that simple. They're too scared to do it because they know that they would get fucking destroyed.
Well, yeah. And
simple.
It just says a lot about their character and like who they are.
It does. It says a lot about
how they have no integrity or respect. It's just plain as that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Move on.
What have we got next? Okay, so this is Dave Smith. So I'm Jewish, but you know what? I'm an American and my kids live in America, and my kids are more important to me than any abstract idea because it's the country they're going to grow up in. Yeah. Just watch it.
This country comes first. And I say this, I'm Jewish, but you know what? I'm an American. My kids live in America, and my kids are more important to me than any abstract idea. This is the country they're going to grow up in. And so anyway, okay, I promise I won't say another thing after that.
Your country comes before your tribe, no matter what tribe it is, including mine. I'm not, any tribe, okay? Tribalism leads to genocide every single time. We can't have that. The only way to preserve the United States, this vast, country in which there's no working majority of anything, is to emphasize citizenship, our common Americanness, country before tribe. And the overwhelming majority of Americans want that and can accept it. And anyone who can accept it can have their own political party, which will not get a majority of anything ever. It's just kind of that simple. And I'm just grateful that we can have this conversation openly for the first time.
Yeah, again.
This country comes first.
People forget that about Dave Smith with this whole Israel debate. He's actually Jewish, and people forget about this. But he's one of the biggest people who call this out.
Yeah,
people
have called him anti-Semitic.
He's like he's fucking Jewish.
He's like, I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But this is why I love Dave Smith, because he doesn't, he sees things as they are and not what he's been told to see them as by his tribe, right?
Yeah.
He has his own mind, his own thoughts, and he'll come to his own conclusions based on the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's someone who's a free thinker, which I really, really appreciate. There's not many free thinkers left in the world. Dave Smith's one of them. So yeah, I do like Dave Smith.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
Definitely. Okay. This one was funny.
Yeah,
this one was funny. Saw this at work today.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent this to you at work today. So let's play this.
Okay.
Because Mark Levin seems to be the most honest out of all of them. He's certainly the most emotional. He's sort of like a woman. Mark Levin is kind of like transgender. I think he might have a vagina because he's the most emotional. And it's weird about Jews. They all have like a weird thing with their mothers. And it has to do with the religion. We could get into that in the super chats. But they all have this weird dynamic with their moms. All the Jews, not all, but a lot of them, they have the overbearing mother complex. And so many of the men are very emotional. And they're very histrionic, like women. And Mark Levin, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a vagina, actually, if he's a girl. Because he's such an emotional woman. You watch his speech, he's literally shaking with anger, literally cannot control himself. He talks about he said, my grandpa fought at Guadalcanal. Was your grandpa a girl too? He said, where was Nick Fuentes' grandparents? My grandfather fought in World War II. And Mark Levin seems like a histrionic woman. I don't know what's going. I would say I would fight him, but one, he's an old man. He's going to be dead in 20 years. He's on his way out. Two, I think he might be a woman. So I don't even want to fight him because I don't want to hit a girl. I know people say I'm a sexist, but I don't do that. So Mark Levin, I mean, this guy's like, by definition, a Jewish pussy, which a lot of them are. Anyway.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think Mark Levin is actually transgender, but
just a bit of.
I get the point he's trying to make.
Yeah.
I get the point he's trying to make.
He was shaking. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he can give himself a heart attack if he's not careful.
But I think that's a good example of why people are tuning into Nick Fuentes as well, because it's not just about, talking about Israel or, in terms of that stuff. He also throws in some really funny shit as well at the same time. Like he talks about loads of different stuff. He talks about women a lot. He talks about relationships a lot.
Yeah. Don't necessarily agree with all of it, but
it's funny.
As a woman, I still think it's pretty funny. Like, where women don't need to always get offended.
No.
We can handle some jokes, guys.
Of course you can.
Or gals, it's fine.
But yeah, this is the last clip, I guess. So we'll play this. So Nick Fuentes is the most influential voice for men under 30, more influential than me or you. Tucker Carlson talks to Dave Smith about the outrage over his interview with Nick. Okay, let's play some of this. It's 5 minutes, so we won't play it all, but we'll play some of it.
It might tie into, because he said,
yeah, it might.
It was in the description. His outrage over the interview. So like it might be some of the other clip, but
yeah.
As for Fuentes,
we'll see.
Himself, you know, I thought a lot about it for many reasons. And for one, Nick had attacked my family, my father, my wife, one of my children by name, you know, but normal people tar us as Nazis. I did suspect that. I don't know if that's true or not. I raised that with him. But basically in the end, I decided Nick Fuentes can't be canceled. They've been trying since he was a freshman in college. It doesn't work. In fact, he's gotten bigger. He is enormously talented. Anyone who denies that is lying. Mm-hmm. And he has like a not fully coherent, but a semi-coherent kind of position. And I would like to hear what it is, because that's kind of my job. And I'm also interested because he's the most influential voice for men under 30 in the United States. More influential than me, more influential than you. I don't think there's any question about that. I spent a lot of time thinking about this and talking to a lot of people about it. And I think that is true. So it's not like I didn't make Nick Fuentes, hardly. I just want to know what this is about. And I wanted to make the point that I often make, and now seems even more important than it ever has, which is that virtue and sin are not transmitted genetically. Right. There is no such thing as blood guilt. Therefore, collective punishment is always immoral. God created each person individually. He did not create communities at once. He created people, and all of us will die and in the end face God alone. So it's about the person. And people can be changed by God, by the way. And the New Testament is that story of people who were, in the case of the whole hero of the New Testament, the human hero was a guy called Paul, was murdering Christians as a Pharisee, and then becomes the greatest proselytizer in the history of Christianity and my personal hero. So like, don't tell me that people can't be changed because of their blood. Now, that is the basis. That position is the basis of Western civilization. We often talk about Western civilization, and we're all defending Western civilization. Israel's defending Western civilization. Israel does not have a Western position on this question. The Israeli position, not of all Israelis, by the way, and certainly not of all Jews, but I'm saying of the Israeli government and of a couple of its ministers, which they say this out loud all the time, is that everybody who's related to a terrorist shares in his guilt. That's collective punishment. It is blood guilt, and it's antithetical to Christianity and to the West. And so for me, and by the way, Israel's not the only country that does this. Most countries do this. Literally most countries do this. All of Asia, India, this is like an intuitive response that people have. Russia, we're going to punish the family too because they're related, of course. Only the West, and I mean specifically the Anglosphere, Western Europe, because their foundation is Christian, reject that explicitly. Our justice system is based on the individual. People who do good things are rewarded. People who do bad things are punished. It's about the individual because that's our religion. And so I just wanted to make that point, not because of Israel or Fuentes or anything, but because that idea right there, that specific idea, is the Western civilization we are struggling to defend. And its opponents are domestic. The neocons do not believe that at all. Clearly, they're attacking my family just like Nick Fuentes attacked my family. So I just wanted to say that. I want to say that in every venue because it's a feature of my religious faith, but it's also my inheritance as a Western man, as the product of Western civilization. And that's what I want to defend. Randy Fine does not believe that. Of course, Lindsey Graham does not believe that. Of course. So the idea that I hate Jews, obviously, I don't hate Jews at all. Of course, obviously, it's almost feels beneath me to say that, but it's the fact. But I'm not allowed to hate any person because of the group he's attached to. I reject. That's what identity politics is. It's the belief that people are either better or worse based on how they were born. And that is not a Western understanding of people or of God. And that's why identity politics doesn't sit right with most Americans, even though you could make a case for it. We need to redress this past injustice or whatever. But most people sort of know that's unfair. Why is it unfair? It's unfair because it treats people as components of a larger whole, as part of a group whose individual choices make no difference. It's like, you're black, therefore you're a criminal, or you're Jewish, therefore you're bad. Like, that whole way of thinking is evil. It's anti-Christian. And that is the true attack on the West and on Western civilization. And so I hear people like Randy, fine, we're defending Western civilization. Oh, are you really? No. You're its main enemy. And so Black Lives Matter, its main enemy. And not because they're Black or Jewish or nothing to do with that, because the idea is wrong.
Spot on.
Yeah, for sure.
And again, he's clarified this position on Israel so many times, and he said it again now. He doesn't hate Jewish people. So whenever you see anything online from anyone like the Shapiros, the Mark Levins, whoever it is, trying to say Tucker Carlson is an anti-Semite, he's a Jew hater, it's complete bollocks. You just heard him say it. You just heard him explain
straight from the horse's mouth.
You just heard him explain his position yet again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've seen him explain the position countless times.
But
of course, he doesn't hate Jews. You're allowed to criticize the government of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. We do it to the government here. We do it to the United States government. We do it to.
You're allowed to criticize any government.
I've called Keir Starmer in the UK. God knows how many names on the stream. I've called him the C word. I've called him a wanker. Called him a prick.
Yeah.
I'm saying it again now. Do I have Brits trying to chase me, trying to cancel me? No. Because no one gives a fuck.
Well, yeah, most people would agree as well. But
the point I'm trying to make is we should be allowed to criticize governments.
Yeah. They're governing our countries.
Yeah.
And we definitely should be able to criticize what they're doing, especially if we don't agree with it, or don't like it, or it's not serving the people of the country. But I mean, how many times will Tucker need to justify or explain his position or this or that? Probably many more times.
He'll probably have to do it a million more times, unfortunately.
He should just record a video, and anytime somebody says something, he'll be like, look, just reference this.
Yeah.
Okay. I've said it so many times now. There's enough clips on the internet to, in my own words, saying exactly my position. So is he really the most dangerous anti-Semite in America? No.
He's not even an anti-fucking Semite in the first place.
He's not at all. He's just America first. And I think more people need to be putting their own countries first, because our countries are struggling in the West, not just in America, not just in Canada, in the UK, Australia. Like, there's a lot of countries right now that are struggling, and we should be calling out what's going on in our governments, and because they're not serving the people, and that's what our governments are supposed to do. Have the interest of the people in that country's their best interests at heart. And right now it doesn't feel like it. It feels like we don't matter whatsoever.
Agree.
So yeah.
Well said.
That simple.
Good way to end the show. We'll leave it there, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll link all of these clips in at the end as well.
Yeah. So on YouTube, they'll be in the description, and on X, they'll be under this video in the replies. If you like the show, make sure to give it a like, retweet it, or share it on YouTube. Leave a comment with your thoughts and opinions. Give us a follow or subscribe, or both if you want. It does mean a lot to us. It's free to do, and it really supports the show and boosts our algorithm again. So, as we said before.
We're in the naughty corner.
We are. Help us get out.
We're on the naughty corner. We're on the naughty step. I used to get put on the naughty step all the time at school.
I can imagine. It does really help support the show, and we do really appreciate it. I'll be linking all this after the show for you guys, so you can watch the clips back or do your own research. We'll be back tomorrow night. It's a later show, Wednesdays. So we'll be back at 8:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. But then usual time at 8 on Thursday. So turn on notifications and you'll know when we're live.
Absolutely.
Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks so much, guys. Take it easy.
Take it easy.